Welcome, lads and lasses, to One Super Scene, where we examine our favourite scenes from superhero media and why they're so super. Today's subject, Beware the Grey Ghost.
As a kid, I used to watch you with my father. The Grey Ghost was my hero.
So it wasn't all for nothing.
But first, some context. Simon Trent is an actor most famous for playing the pulp-style hero, the Grey Ghost. But following the show's cancellation, he struggled to find work because people only see him as the Ghost. When a series of bombings that directly resemble an episode of the show rock Gotham, Batman contacts Simon to see if he knows anything. Donning the Grey Ghost costume once more, Trent and the Dark Knight work together to solve the case. Whilst in the Batcave, Batman shows Trent something that leaves him speechless. A backroom full of Grey Ghost memorabilia. As a kid, Bruce was an avid fan of the show, and the character clearly inspired his Batman persona in several ways.
It's just like the Grey Ghost's lair.
It's almost an exact replica.
Now, there are two levels as to why this scene is so super. The first is what this scene means within the context of the episode. Throughout this story, we've seen the shadow the Grey Ghost has cast over Simon Trent in his career. He can't get parts because of his association with the character, and is therefore struggling to pay rent. This causes him to lash out in anger at his collection of Grey Ghost merchandise before breaking down into tears. So for Batman to say, "You were my childhood hero and inspiration," it shows Trent firsthand the impact his character had on people, how it inspired them, that it wasn't all for nothing. And it's part of the reason he decides to re-embrace the Grey Ghost after foiling the Mad Bomber. And what I really like about all of this is how it represents one of the things that makes superheroes special. Their ability to inspire people to be better, kinder, to make the world a better place. The Grey Ghost inspired Batman, and now Batman inspires his childhood hero. But it's much more than that. There's a lot of metatextual details that add to this scene and the whole episode, and a lot of it stems from the man who voices Simon Trent, Adam West. Now, West is of course most well known for playing Batman in the 1966 TV show, a role that became both a blessing and a curse for the man. After the show, Adam was often typecast and missed out on multiple roles because people so strongly associated him with the camp of the 66 show. It's hard not to draw parallels between Adam West and Simon Trent, which adds a lot to the casting beyond just the simple novelty of having the previous Batman voice the character's in-universe hero. And it adds a whole new layer to that scene, because it's effectively the BTAS crew and Kevin Conroy, many of whom grew up with Adam West as their Batman, saying thank you to the Batman of their childhood. This moment can also be interpreted as a tribute to the old pulp heroes of the 1920s and 30s, who the Grey Ghost is clearly inspired by. Batman was heavily influenced by characters like the Phantom and the Shadow, the latter of whom bears a slight resemblance to the Ghost. So the scene can be read as Batman, and by extension the BTAS creators, paying thanks to those characters and their impact. And the final reason this scene is so effective is because it feels very relevant to us, the fans. This is admittedly more of a retrospective thing, but I think a lot of people who grew up with BTAS can see themselves in Batman at this moment, thanking their childhood hero for what they did for them. There's a comment from one RG Energy that sums this up best. "I used to watch you on TV with my brother and mother. Kevin Conroy was my hero. He still is, and always will be." To countless people, Kevin Conroy was the Batman they grew up with, and for many, is the definitive voice for the character. And especially after the passing of both Adam West and Kevin, this scene hits a lot harder than it did back in '92. In the end, this scene is fantastic because it works on multiple levels. It's a great character moment where Batman thanks his childhood hero, who in turn sees the impact he had. It's a tribute to Adam West, and perhaps the pulp heroes of old who inspired the Dark Knight, and in hindsight, it reflects us as fans who grew up with BTAS. It's a scene that can be viewed in different ways, and none of them are incorrect. That's the beauty of art. Your takeaway of a painting may differ from mine, and that's okay. Variety of interpretation is an addition, not a subtraction. But on to you, folks. What do you think of Beware the Grey Ghost? Leave your answers in the comments section below. If you enjoy the show, want to see more, like, subscribe, share, and do all the other YouTube things. And before I tune off, I'd just like to say thank you, Adam West and Kevin Conroy. You were the definitive Batman to countless people, and your legacies will live on through your work and those impacted by your performances. As Kevin himself said,
"They're not here anymore. But they're here. They're with you. They will always be with you.
Thank you, gentlemen, and may you rest in peace.